Well, hello there, Rip City. Welcome in to Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. We're going to have a little fun tonight. What a night it is, too, man. The 8 o'clock tip-off? What is going on? My body's not ready for this. It's so late, I'm so tired. But here we are anyway. Ready to get through it as the Blazers return home after a 5-game road trip. A road trip that did not go the way the Blazers would have liked. They went just 1-4 when it was all said and done on a road trip that, quite frankly, had plenty of opportunities for victory. They just weren't able to grasp them. They obviously lost that heartbreaker on a Desmond Bane last-second shot at the buzzer in Orlando. They lost the butt kicking to Houston when they got out and took care of business. And then they lost that game in Dallas, a game that they didn't go into that game. At least not a lot of us thought they went into that game with anticipation of losing. Now, no one anticipates losing, but the point is, you're looking at that team, oh, no Kyrie, no AD. Cooper Flagg is still kind of finding his footing. Yeah, that's an easy victory. Unfortunately, it was not an easy victory for the Trailblazers as they fall in overtime, not the way they drew it up. If you want to join the conversation with me tonight, by the way, got a new way for you to do that. You don't have to just go to youtube.com and get in the comment section. You don't have to just grab your phone and dial 503-248-0620. You can grab your phone and text 88528 and get on our brand new text line. Pretty cool, fancy way for us to get back and talk to you guys. So grab the phone, 88528. Save it. Know what to do. Put it in there under my buddies Chad and Chris, and send us your texts all night long, and we'll talk about them here on the show. But as we continue to get you ready for Blazers Suns, let's take a look at what went down in Dallas. It was, again, it was a rough game, but it was to be expected, at least at tip-off. Like I said, they didn't go into that game, and fans didn't go into that game. We didn't go into that game thinking that they were not going to stand a chance against Dallas. But when you get late news that Drew Holiday is not going to play and they don't have another point guard that's healthy right now, you knew it was going to be a tough game. You needed someone to run the offense. They didn't have that person. It was Denny, who, let's be honest, is not a true point guard. We all know that. So it was gonna hurt. You knew it was gonna hurt, and you saw throughout this game that you were missing that point guard. Now, in the first quarter, Jeremy Grant got the start in place of the injured Drew Holiday. Just the first time they have changed their starting lineup, to the point the Blazers were the only team in the NBA who had used one starting lineup all year long. Chris Murray was the first off the bench, and the Blazers did lead 37-29 after one. Toumani Camara hit a three at the buzzer to give them that lead, and Blazers were looking good. Jeremy Grant had 9 points. Sharp had 8 points. Toumani Camara had 7 points in the first quarter alone. In the second quarter, they were outscored by the Mavericks 28-24. They still had the halftime lead. Grant had 13 points. Avdia had 13 points. Sharp had 12. The Blazers were up 17-14 in second chance points. But then the second half happened. The Mavs came out hot. They were able to stop the Blazers. They were able to get the buckets they needed, especially there in that fourth quarter where they went on a 13-2 run. And then late in the game, Denny Avdia had a chance to win the game, but he takes a step back three. He leaves it short. They go to overtime. In overtime, the Dallas Mavericks go 7 of 7 from the floor, 6 of 9 from the free throw line. They outscored the Blazers in OT 20-15 to grab the 138-133 victory. Taking a look at the box score on the Dallas side of things, P.J. Washington had 21 points. Cooper Flagg had 21 points. Daniel Gafford had 20 points as well. 15 points from Brandon Williams. Max Christie had 14. And Klay Thompson turned back the clock. He had 19 points off of the Mavericks bench. On the Trailblazers side of things, Toumani Camara had 11 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. a steal, and just 2 turnovers. But you could look at that and go, okay, I like the double-double, 11 points. I would have liked more, but it does hurt that he only scored 11 points total after he scored 7 in the first quarter. Thought he was poised for a little bit of a bigger ball game. He did lead the team with 40 minutes and 31 seconds of action. Just unfortunate they couldn't build off that first quarter performance. Jeremy Grant in the starting lineup had 26 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 16 points, 11 rebounds from Donovan Clingan. Denny Avdia had 29 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. He ended up fouling out in overtime. Shaedon Sharpe, though, another very, very impressive performance. 36 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. He was 9 of 11 from the free throw stripe, 12 of 32 from the floor. But with no Drew Holiday and Jeremy Grant in your starting lineup means you have no bench scoring. They were led by Chris Murray and Robert Williams, respectively, who each had 6 points. Overall, Dallas outscored your Portland Trailblazers from the bench 47-15. The Blazers still did have quite a few second chance points. They led that one 32-10. Their biggest lead of the night was 12. Dallas's was 6. There was 12 lead changes. They were tied 17 times. This one, honestly, it just felt like it came down to not having a point guard and not having someone who could slow down the offense, run it the way you need it. And then you put the team into positions late in the game where they got to do things that they are not used to doing. As I mentioned in the 5th quarter, it's just how many times has this team over the last few years been in tight games with 2 minutes to go? Not a lot, but outside of that game in Houston, it feels like every single game has been a game, and they have needed to come up clutch and play great basketball down the stretch, and they just weren't able to get that done in Orlando. They weren't able to get that done in Dallas, and I do think that those are situations that this team's absolutely going to learn from moving forward. I think Denny Avdia is going to learn that, you know what, maybe a step-back 3 when I'm defended pretty well isn't the best shot that I could take, especially when Denny Avdia's strength is getting downhill and getting to the rim. In that situation, especially with 10 seconds, attack the rim. Maybe they foul you. Maybe you go to the line. Or maybe you hit the game go-ahead free throw. Like, that's the crazy part to me. Those shots are still far more efficient than that step-back 3, but we settle for a step-back 3 when it's a tie ball game. It's not like it's a 2-point ball game and that 3-pointer wins it. It's not like it's a 3-point ball game and that 3-pointer ties it. No, it is a tie ball game. All you need to do is get to the free throw line, hit one free throw, and you're in the lead. Maybe if you would have played into the strengths a little bit, that would have happened. But not so much in this one, as the Blazers do fall to the Dallas Mavericks. But now they're back home. Hopefully they can rebound and get a big win tonight against the Phoenix Suns. Sharpe had missed a game against Dallas. Had himself a game against Dallas. Fun to watch. That's coming in on the text line. He did. He had himself an incredible game. And think about that. I mean, 3 of his last 4 games, he's eclipsed 30 points. That you're starting to see a little bit more of the Shaedon Sharpe that you've wanted to see all year long. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's the consistency factor. Can you start to build on that? I think we all know that scoring 35 points a night is not, realistic at this point. But if you can get to that point where you are very much consistently in the 25-point range, and then you're getting these 30-point games, maybe here and there you get those 40 bombs, it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good. So, hopefully this is just more of a sign of things to come for Shea, and it's not just, there was the mirage that we saw for 3 games on the road when we just needed someone to score. Absolutely agree. It was fun to watch. Can I get Chris Burkhardt's autograph? You bums should not have the text number. We shouldn't have given it out to you. But the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Anybody can have my autograph. I just caution you. It's YouTube, it's the chat, it's my college football bums that I talk with you guys about that are trying to razz me and get me off my game. They can't do that. I'm just focused all the time. I don't get off the rails. But the joke's on them, though, if they want me to sign their paper, because I'll sign anything. If a fan asks me for an autograph, I'll sign it. But just be understanding that whatever I sign, it's like buying a car. You know how they say as soon as a car goes off the lot, it loses half its value? Yeah, whatever I sign gets devalued. I apologize. You want me to sign your basketball? I'll do it. But that basketball is going to be less valuable after I do. I have not hit It's not about modesty, Brendan. It's just the fact that I haven't hit that top of the mountain yet, where my autograph's valuable. However, maybe if you buy it and sell it on Facebook Marketplace, we can artificially inflate the market and see how that goes for us. Have you seen the Chad Power show on Hulu? Have you wasted your time with that?
Oh yeah, no, I was super into it each week. I loved it.
Okay, well, it was good. It was not great. It was a good show though, but I did laugh and said that, like, remember the scene where he's in the hallway and the kid asks him for his autograph and he almost signs it with his real name, so then he just starts coloring in the entire football.
Right.
Like, that's how I'm gonna start signing my autographs.
Yeah, no, it was let me put it this way, Chris. It's going to have a personal connotation to me because I love just how, with that show, how it was kind of like realistic to what we know, which is like, the NIL stuff, the booster that's constantly in the coach's ear and whatnot. And I was like, and, all that happened. And yeah, it was definitely entertaining. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was a little corny at some points, but, I liked it.
I'm going to agree with you. It was entertaining. It's not the greatest show I've ever seen, but it was worth the watch. I was entertained. Yeah,
like half-hour episodes. Yeah. If you're a football fan and you like a little bit of comedy, oh yeah, for sure.
Let's just say though, the way the season ended was dumb. That's a dumb cliffhanger. I'm more mad.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I mean, it's one of those things where I think it's like, as I looked at it, Chris, again, you look at it, I think it's 6 episodes that are half-hour each. For a TV show, that's a really, really short kind of setting. I was looking at my buddy, we were watching, we were like, okay, one of two things. They either didn't have a whole lot of confidence this was going to work, or Glenn Powell, who is what I like to call the most wanted man in Hollywood right now, is really busy.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Absolutely. We'll get some more talk of that here in a second, Brendan, but we better take a break. When we come back, we'll head to the Coach's Corner and go take a listen to Tiago Splitter and continue to get you ready for this game tonight. It's Phoenix versus Portland, late night tip-off, 8 p.m., and you can listen to it here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Gotcha. All right. Let's work on some stuff here during this commercial break. Sound was distorted. We're trying. Sounds all right in my ear right now. It's kind of weird. Jacqueline says, instead of a Burke autograph, can we get a Thanksgiving turkey? I know where you can find one. The original Steer Meat Market on 123rd Division. Tom Burke sent you. Ignatius, no, you do not. You're not living in Boone, North Carolina. You're living rent-free in my head. Checkered past. We need trading cards, but for Blazer Media. We did that at NBC, and I have a few of them, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever, so I'm down to do that again. I am down to do that again. Let's pop this down, see if that helps your guys' audio a little bit. Test, 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 test. That doesn't sound terrible. Test, 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 test. That is better in my ear, but still loud here. We're doing our best for you. Thanks for doing your on-air producing. Anyway, I'm going to mute. We'll be right back. We'll listen to Tiago here in just a few minutes. head down to the press room, hear from head coach Tiago Splitter.
Yeah.
If he can't start, who are you going to start?
Don't know yet.
Is Drew still considered kind of a day-to-day thing?
Yeah.
Tiago, there's been some suggestions from Steve Kerr and other people that pace, space, pressure is contributing to some of these shorter-term soft tissue injuries. Is that anything that you guys are keeping an eye on, just considering how much you guys are pressuring, how fast you're playing?
Yes, for sure. That's why we wanted to sub quick, get guys out, and play the way we want to play. But it's definitely tricky. I mean, some of them are because of that. Some of them are, just injuries itself that happens. There's teams that play slow that are getting also those same injuries. So it's not just that. Usually, historically in the NBA, 10, 15 first games are always like guys having those little muscle injuries where people are adapting again to compete. Of course, after a long summer and just getting used to that competition and put their bodies through that effort. So it's kind of like normal, to be honest.
Outside of personnel, what's been different for you guys defensively, where you guys haven't been able to force as many turnovers and get out in the open court as much?
Well, we don't have the same personnel, basically. Well, we need those, long arms and athletic guys, and, we need Steez and Blake and, you name it now, Drew. So it's not the same. You need a personnel. You need guys that have that instinct to touch, and steal ball. So that's just part of it. We got to adapt a little bit, and we will. Got to find ways to win basketball games, just like everybody else in this league. You guys seen all the guys that are out lately, so the team that adapt the better to all those situations are the teams that do well in the end. So that's what we got to do.
What are some of the ways that you can adapt when you're a little bit more limited in personnel? If you want to play with pace, or you want to play aggressive, but you don't necessarily have the guys that enable you to do that, what are some of the things that you can move around the margins to try to improve that?
Well, there's other things that you can do, how to protect your paint and how aggressive you want to be, or even just have confidence when you bench guys and playing their minutes, because they're going to bring you some energy. They're going to also, it's a different level of talent, but they can also still play fast. They still can pressure the ball. They still can, disrupt some offenses. So you just got to be confident. We have, 18 guys for a reason, or 17. So this is a team, and we got to try to take the best out of it.
Tiago, do you have an idea of when Scoot will be able to rejoin the practice or anything like that? Has there been any developments with him?
Well, I wish I could tell, but I don't know. I mean, I saw him shooting the other day, doing some drills, but I guess we're going to have more information soon.
Coach, you've been at this for a few weeks now in this role. Are you kind of finding a rhythm, timing of everything, and anybody from your playing days or externally that you kind of try to lean on for some insight and input?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of people that I talk and help me. But also, you asked me how I'm feeling right now and my routine and all that. Yeah, I think I'm more comfortable. The beginning, of course, was, everything that happened, and way more comfortable doing everything I do on a daily basis. Of course, the games are very up and down, and you can go crazy sometimes, but you got to maintain, right? Like, never too high, never too low. It's cliche, but it's true. If not, you go insane. But try to be positive, try to help them, try to teach them every day how to get better, how to create a winning culture, and they are hard at themselves too. So it's a great group. I'm happy with the group that I have, and we are getting better every day.
How do you view this aspect of the job, dealing with the media? Because I think a lot of people don't realize that the head coach is, kind of like the head of the company and the face.
It is. I think I had a little bit last year in Paris, but I really had to face that, but not as much as here, right? Like it was once, maybe 2-3 times a week. Now we got, way more here, which is part of the game. I mean, when I retired, actually, I worked for the media in the Olympics, Rio 2016. And I understand you guys' part, like your side, and how you guys want this, you guys want to just give information to people. You guys want everybody to have an access and talk to the coach and talk to the players. And when I was on your guys' side, I felt it. And it's like, sometimes it's not easy to get information out of them. I just face it.
Deep Thiago knowledge being dropped right now, Burkhardt.
You guys, and there's days that I am more emotional. There's days that I'm tired. There's days that I'm sad, and it's normal, like everybody else. It's a job, and but I gotta lead these guys and try to take the best out of them. So I understand you guys' side, and you guys probably understand me.
All right. Good. All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And there you hear from head coach Thiago Splitter. And, dropping some knowledge bombs on us. He used to work in media, and he knows what it's like to be in our shoes, and that's kind of nice. Also, mention that, unfortunately, Jeremy Grant might not be a go tonight. He's going to be a game-time decision. So between Jeremy Grant, Drew Holiday, some slim pickings for the Blazers as the injury bugs continue to pile up a little bit. And Jeremy Grant's illness right now is what they're saying. Just dealing with a little bit of a bug. We'll see if he plays. If he doesn't, it's going to be pretty rough go for your Trailblazers, absolutely, with how tight the lineups are already. All right, if you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And, of course, grab your phone and get to the brand new Rip City Radio text line. Just text 88528 and send us a text message, and we'll respond to them. As one of our texters from the 503 says, Denny should have drove to the hoop, but everyone else was standing around like statues. No cuts, no coming to screen. And that's not a bad observation either, right? You get Sharps just sitting up there. No one comes up. Could have set a screen. Could have at least get the defense just a little bit off kilter. It just didn't work out. It was a weird little situation, quite honestly, that it played out the way that it did. You would have definitely liked the Blazers and, Denny to attack the rim and not settle for what was a very, very bad shot. And it just, hopefully you learn from that. I mean, we've all talked about it, so you know that they've got it in their video, right, that they've watched it, and that is what it is. So hopefully they learn. Hopefully they learn. Weldon says in the chat, I'll disagree on how bad the late start is. It's just interesting how they're dealing with overlapping games like TNT had to deal with it. Here's the deal, Weldon. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. These games are terrible. They are terrible. They're terrible for my psyche. They are terrible for my sleep patterns. I mean, you're talking about a nationally televised game that's not tipping off till 8 o'clock. That means extra timeout time, more TV breaks. I mean, the fifth quarter probably ain't starting until 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just going to, if that's the case, I'm just going to sleep right here. Like, I'm just going to, why go home? Why go home? I might walk the halls, see if I can find access to the secret Paul Allen apartment, see if there's a couch up there I can sleep on. Because why go home at that point? Why? It just doesn't make much sense to me.
Like, I kid you not, I think that, like, if I covered this team for, like, the entirety of my life, like, I'd like my retirement present to be, can I just see that private apartment?
I still...
Just, like, I mean, it's like trade secrets. I mean, I know Chad's never seen it, you've never seen it, like, nope. It's under lock and key, man.
Hey, man, I still contend. You unlock that thing, put it on Airbnb, you can make some fat cash real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, can we turn that into a studio like that? I mean,
Oh my goodness.
what better backdrop for the fifth quarter and Blazers game day than a camera panning down into the Arena Bowl? I like soundproofed though, so things are good.
That would be epic. Like,
yeah.
pull back those shades that you see. There's a little window, and all of a sudden we're high from the 300. Like it's even higher than the Pines, Chris, if that's possible.
Yes, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to continue to talk about this Blazers-Suns matchup here on your home of the Blazers, River City Radio 620. All right, pod everything down in my ear just for a sec. I'm going to try to mess with YouTube. Thank you. Okay. I apologize to our YouTube listeners. I don't know why the audio's coming in like that. I got to figure this out. Time to push buttons. Test, test. Yep. Where is that? Test, test. Test, test. Test, test, test. That doesn't change. I mean, because then I can come in really low. And then I can come over here. Test, test. Is that better? That seems better in my ear here. Let's see. Does it? Pot up the phone. So now I got to find the happy medium to not over modulate here. And then just make sure Brendan's good. You guys are getting really intense behind the scenes stuff here. Okay. Okay. Test, test, test. There we go. There we go. Now you are getting a buzz, but that's just because we're out in the Arena Bowl. I think that's better. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Sounds way better in my earphone here. So I think that's what I needed to do. I really hope that works for you guys. I apologize, and thank you for telling me about it. That's the only way I can fix it. YouTube's a little different because it's not taking like a direct radio feed. I have to mix it, and obviously, if I don't mix it right, that's on me. Brendan might come in hot. We'll figure it out. How much longer, Brendan? 2 minutes back. All right. Test, 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 test. No, you're good. See, that's the negative part here. Let me see. The negative part is, for some reason, once I turn the input down and it makes it better for YouTube, it turns it down in my headset. And that is tough. Test, test. It doesn't do much for me. That's all right. That's all right. Test, test, test. It is what it is. Ben's never seen overtime in person. I was here for the 4 overtime Denver one. Also, I don't believe you. You guys just want me to suffer. That's rude. That's rude. You guys are too much. All right. I think I got you guys figured out. So we're going to cut to commercial for a sec. I'll be right back. Thank you. Oh, hello there, Trailblazers fans. Welcome back in to Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Shout out to all the people on YouTube helping us trying to figure out some noise issues there. Little distorted. Audio wasn't great. Hopefully we figure that out for you. On the plus side, though, you know, if you can watch on YouTube and then you can grab your phone and you can listen on the iHeartRadio music app, have perfect audio every time, and then it's not my fault. Not my fault, because if there's bad audio on YouTube, I'm the only guy to blame. Also, if you want to join the conversation, YouTube's one way to do it, but also got a fancy new way for you to do it. Just grab your phone, text 88528, and hit the Rip City Radio text line, where a couple texts are saying, hey, looking for Murray to get some extra minutes tonight. Yeah, absolutely, especially if Jeremy Grant is not a go, and he's going to get extra minutes regardless with Drew Holiday not in there. So this is obviously an opportunity for him to obviously get a little more run. Hopefully he can take advantage of that. Also, another question, how many points do you let your team get down by before you call a timeout? I would say situational. I've always liked to try to fight through the timeout, but if you're down 8 or 10, I would call that timeout. I think if it's 2 quick threes and there's like boom boom 6-point swing, now you're down 8 points, call timeout. Call timeout. And not only is it about getting you right, it's like putting water on that fire for a second. Let it calm down and see what you can do. That's a good question. I like that question. How big do you get down for your called timeout? We'll see tonight. Pay attention to what Tiago does. I know some coaches just like to fight through and see where their team goes. Some coaches are like the instant call timeout. I'm maybe 8 points puts me somewhere in the middle. That's just how I'm feeling. On 2K, no timeouts though. I just let my offense just plow through. Just let the offense plow through. We'll figure it out. That's what we do there. But once again, grab your phone, save this information. The text line 88528. And text the Rip City Radio text line. And Chad and I will talk to you all day long. You just got to save it under my friends Chad and Chris. That's what it should be saved in under your contacts. Now, if you're just tuning in, we did play head coach Tiago Splitter just a few minutes ago, and he did mention that Jeremy Grant is a game-time decision. He is feeling a little bit under the weather. So, you know what? You might even be a little more depleted tonight against a Phoenix Suns team that has outperformed their early expectations for the year. So you do have to give them just a little bit of credit in that one. Dylan Brooks has been playing good. He's a pest, right? He finds ways to get in your head and play good defense, and if he can get it going on the offensive side of things, it's even better for him. So we'll see what they do tonight against the Blazers. Blazers they just got to stop it right out the gate. I've been talking about this with everyone. The defense just needs to show up and play smarter, right? And that's what Tiago talked about. It's what Sean Hyken talked about earlier when he was on. But the defense isn't playing with lack of effort, but they're just not playing as smart as they had been playing earlier in the year. So just get back to making smart decisions, being within the game, right? Don't get outside of the game. Just be on the court all the time, make the right play, and put yourself in a position to succeed. And you're going to need to do that against just about any team in the NBA. But again, right now, Phoenix is playing better than people thought they would early in the year. They're 8-6 right now. And they've also gone through the gauntlet of playing some easier teams, right? I mean, you look at their victories. They have won 5 of their last 6 games. And those 5 wins, 2 against the Clippers, a Clippers team that's not playing very well, the Pelicans, who aren't very good, the Mavericks, who aren't very good, and the Pacers, who aren't very good. So you could argue, like, oh, look, they're beating teams that aren't good. But at the same time, they're taking advantage of the situations when they're playing those teams, unlike Portland, who kind of struggled to get past NOLA, who didn't get past Dallas when they should have, who didn't beat the Lakers despite Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and LeBron James playing, right? So that you got to give credit to the Phoenix Suns for, because they're finding ways to win those games that, quite frankly, they should be winning right now. And so hats off to them. Now, if you're the Blazers, how do you combat that? Devin Booker has been playing out of his mind. He's averaging 28.4 points per game, one of the best, if not the best, shooting guards in the league. He's also averaging 7 assists per game to lead the team, so he is a twofold player. You look at Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks averaging 22 points per game, so he's found a way to put it together. Also, defensively, you know how good he can be. Grayson Allen at 18.5. So they got guys who can go out there and can score. And you got to be ready for that. And just back to the whole idea of the defense needing to be locked in at all times. That's what I want to see. I want to see the offense play well, but I want to see the defense get back to the defense that we saw early in the year where they just couldn't. Yes, you could be beat, but they played every single possession incredibly well. And not only that, every single time a game ended, you went into the post-game press conference, the other team was talking about how good the Blazers were. Oh, no more coming into Portland and getting an easy victory, right? This team's going to play hard. They're going to pick you up 94 feet. They're going to make you work. That dissipated, so you just need to get back to that. Now, getting back to the text line real quick. Someone asked, will Portland have any healthy players left a month from now? We shall see. We shall see. That is the great NBA question right now. But again, at least with Jeremy Grant, it's just under the weather. And if you've been outside lately and listened to all the people coughing, yeah, everyone's sick. My entire house, my poor little kiddos, didn't go to school today, not feeling well. I told the wife, I'm sleeping in the car. I'm staying away from you guys. I don't need a sore throat. Make my living with this voice. Don't make me sick. So I believe the illness part. And someone also asked, will Thiago play a smaller lineup for a majority of the game? It's also an interesting question. It's a good way to attack this Phoenix Suns team, but also I think you can find ways to get Donovan Clingan and Robert Williams really involved in the offense. And in fact, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Find ways to get them out. Maybe this is a good situation, quite frankly, where you put the ball in Denny's hands or you put the ball in Tu's hands, whoever's going to be running your point from us tonight, and maybe go a little more pick and roll heavy and really let those centers set those hard screens, roll to the baskets, and get involved offensively. I think I wouldn't mind seeing that. And then with the small ball, you could get that one going too. In that situation, you get Dwight Breath out there, and maybe you see Young Hansen tonight, who was recalled from the Rip City Remix after having a pretty good game. I think it was a 28-point, 13-rebound, 3-block game that he had down there with the Remix or something along those lines. So there's plenty of things I think you could still do with this young lineup. I'd like to see all those guys get involved. But again, also understand that if those guys aren't getting it done, you might just have to go back to your starters, go back to your best 5, because you just can't afford to just lose another game. You got to at least pick up one of these 2 games before you head back out on the road. As Sean Hyken pointed out, like, the schedule doesn't get any easier if you're the Trailblazers. This entire month of November, as we've talked about many times, an absolute gauntlet for the Trailblazers until December 1st. You look at their schedule. Let's go through this right now. First off, the fact that they're 6-7 at this point, I still think is okay. I'm not upset about that. I just wish they would have won some of those games that they definitely should have won. Looking at you, Dallas. Looking at you, Orlando. But you look at the rest of the schedule. 2 games here at home, today and tomorrow, versus Phoenix and Chicago. Then they hit the road for Golden State, which will be tough. Oklahoma City, which will be tough. Milwaukee, they'll be without Giannis, so we'll see how that one goes. San Antonio on the 26th, it just got a little more interesting because Victor Wembanyama likely to not play in that one. And then they end the month with Oklahoma City again. So over the next, 8 games, 7 games, they see Oklahoma City twice. That's rough. Then they hit the road for a 4-game trip season in Toronto, Cleveland, Detroit, and Memphis. Oh, I think if you paid attention to the NBA and the standings and how everything are going, you know how good Detroit is. They have been playing great basketball. They're 12-2. Cleveland, 10-5. Toronto, 9-5. Currently, the 3 best teams in the Eastern Conference, and Portland gets to play all 3 of them on that 4-game trip before they wrap up against the Memphis Grizzlies, who are just 4-10 on the season. So still lots of very, very tough games for the Trailblazers in this early part of the season. And Sean pointed out, I think if you looked at the schedule and said if they get to Christmas at 500, they would be in a good spot. Well, Christmas is a little over a month away. Keep playing good basketball. Find ways to get back to what you looked like in that first week and a half of the season, and I think you'll start to get some more wins under your belt. But at the same time, don't be shocked when the team loses. How many of us thought this team was going to be a winning ball club? And what I mean by that was above 500. I know a lot of people we talked to early in the year that 36.5 was the over-under. They were taking the under. A lot of them, I'll take the over, but I think they're going to be a 38-win team. I sit them at 500. I told you guys that early on Blazer Game Day and the Courtside Monday during the offseason. I think they're a 41-41 team. And right now they're pacing out like they're playing 500 basketball. So they're going to lose some games, but it just goes back to how they lose those games. I'm more intrigued with how they play, because during that road trip, there was just some question marks. Like, again, where was the team we saw against Golden State and in L.A. when they picked up that win? And that game against the Timberwolves, they lost, but they turned some heads. Like, where's that team? Get back to playing that way, and the win-loss part is going to be just a little bit easier to swallow. Hard to swallow a loss when it's Denny Avdia taking a 30-foot step-back 3 when his game is put the ball on the floor and driving to the rim. Play to your strengths. Do those things. Don't try to be someone or something that you're not. Understand who you are and play to that, and I think they'll be in a very good spot. This is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. You can follow me on social at Chris J. Burkhardt. You can also text the show. We got a brand new fancy Rip City Radio text line. Just grab your phone and text your Blazer thoughts to 88528 and send us a text, and we'll talk about them on the show. We can even hit the fancy reply button and talk to you there and have some fun. It's just another great way for you guys to interact. Of course, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And just like all of our other YouTube friends, you can go over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat there. Have some fun with that. Look at that. So many ways to get involved. I like it. All right, we're going to take a quick little break here on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, it's time for our keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to pick up a victory against the Suns? I'll let you know all right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. a new fancy way for everyone to get in on the chat, and it's not just YouTube anymore. You can grab your phone. You can send a text message. You all know how to do that to 88528, and we will get them over there at our new fancy Rip City Radio text line, where one of our texters says, my preseason prediction was 40 wins. Well, not too bad because, again, I predicted 41. A lot of people right around that range. So if you're playing at 6-7 now, you pick up the win tonight, you're 7-7, and you're right where you want to be when it comes to playing 500 ball. That's not terrible. Also, what is the Blazers record, Weldon? My boy Eric Weldon in the chat. What's the Blazers record? 6-7. That's right. I hope my children are listening because I just outed myself as an old man trying to be cool, and it totally failed. Brendan, speaking of cool, it's time for our keys to the game. Keys to the game. Keys to the game.
With his keys to the game, broadcasting live from the Coors Light Studios. Coors Light, choose chill.
First off, Brendan, you're absolutely lying. You get 6-7. Everyone gets 6-7. I mean, aren't we? We're all cool. We understand what kids are into these days.
Chris, I had my brother come home from college this weekend. I did the Michael Scott.
Hey, man, it's understandable. All right, it's time for our keys to the game. I apologize, Weldon. See, technical difficulties over on YouTube, and it's all my fault. But keys to the game. Blazers, what do they need to do to grab a victory tonight? Well, they need to be locked in defensively, like I said, especially on the three-point arc. This Suns team is top 5 in three-point attempts. They're top 5 in three-point makes. They're top 6 in three-point shooting percentage. They like to live outside beyond the arc, and we've seen that hurt this Blazer team at times. So if you are the Blazers, you really need to pay attention to that, and you also want to make sure you're not fouling them, right? Because you don't want to lead to easy three-point plays. You don't want to lead to situations where, they missed that three-pointer, but I gave them 3 free runs at the line. So be cognizant of that, but also know that that ball is going to get out around the paint, and guys like Devin Booker and Grayson Allen are going to take lots and lots of three-point shots. That's just pretty plain and simple. Also, you look at the way that this team plays defense, Phoenix does. They average 10 steals per game, which is tied for the 4th most in the NBA. So for Portland, with no point guard today, with Drew Holiday not playing, and guys like Denny Avdia who have a propensity to turn the ball over, you're going to have to be very, very cautious with that basketball, because if you start turning the ball over and they turn that into points off of turnovers, you're going to be hurting bad. That is definitely not a situation you want to see yourself in. You go back to the Houston game, right, where Portland had 20 turnovers. Houston had just 6. Houston turned that into 30 points off of turnovers to just 11 for Portland. That is a 19-point difference, and that is part of the reason you lose that game by 24 points. So if you are the Blazers, you got to be very, very cautious with the basketball, because you cannot afford to turn the ball over in bunches, and Phoenix will find a way to force you into turnovers. So those are 2 things you got to watch. Control the ball and how you play defense, especially beyond the arc, because those 2 things are going to be key. Taking a look real quick, though, before we go, let's take a look at the NBA scoreboard, see what's going on around the league. Celtics Nets, Celtics up by 10. Pistons up on the Hawks. Grizzlies, end of the 3rd, they got a 1-point lead on the Spurs. And later tonight, you still got Jazz Lakers, Warriors Magic, and Blazers Suns coming up in just about an hour. But music means it's time to go. But you don't go anywhere. Coming up next across the Trailblazers audio network, Chad Dewing will have your Trailblazers pregame show. And, of course, tip-off at 8 p.m. with the man, Travis Demers, on the calls. Took me almost 100 years to see my first live Trailblazers win. Let's go! Let's go. We got World War II vets in the house to watch the Blazers. That can only mean good things. Harry? Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. But I got to get out of here. Rip City. We'll talk to you after the game. All right, YouTube. I'm going to work on this audio thing, okay? I'm sorry, but to all you guys who stuck through it like you always do, that's why you're the YouTube gang. That's why I love you so much. And also, shout out real quick while I got you on the YouTube chat. Shout out to Harry Humison. He totally has a sign over here that says, "It took me almost 100 years to see my first Trailblazers win." He's a 99-year-old World War II vet who fought in Germany up to the Austrian and Czechoslovakian borders with General George Patton's Third Army, and he is here live in person tonight. How cool. How absolutely cool is that? It's pretty darn awesome. Blazers better get a victory now. They better get a victory. All right, Rip City, I'm going to work out this whole YouTube thing. We're going to figure it out. But as always, be ready. Fifth quarter,